Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to the KSL SummerSlam round of 8. Today we have Dark here in the bottom left spawning as our red Zerg player playing for team DKZ, and in the top right, the man, the myth, the legend, it is Gumiho spawning as our blue Terran up here. A phenomenal player, and so is Dark of course. So we're gonna have a Terran versus Zerg best of 5. For people not aware, KSL SummerSlam was a tournament hosted by the same guys that are bringing you the Korean StarCraft League every single week. The replays were made available immediately after the tournament, a $4,500 event with the highest level Koreans and some foreigners thrown in there as well. Scarlet and Australia ended up participating too. Right now we're in the quarterfinals. As yesterday I put the first quarterfinal line, and today we have our second quarterfinal between Gumiho and Dark. Gumiho opens up with a 2 Rex Reaper opener, and this is kind of what I've come to expect now. This is really what's been happening as of late, is that everyone and their sister and their mom and their little brother has been building 2 barracks on the low ground, going for that triple Reaper opener. It is so ridiculously powerful, or at least it seems ridiculously powerful. It is actually crazy how strong this is. So much damage is being dealt, just kind of indirectly. Now Dark says, hey, I know that everyone is doing this build. Let's see if I can do something about it. So he opens up with a pool first here. He's going to build 2 links, and he'll follow this up with a fast roach warren. This is a very dedicated type of pressure. This is, you could almost call this an all-in. Well, you could call this an all-in, and you'd probably be correct, because it feels very all-in. There's going to be, well, not too many roaches because there's not too much gas currently, but it's going to start with 3 roaches, maybe a 4th roach, maybe even a 5th roach. It's going to be thrown in there too. This Reaper is looking for any potential damage it can deal to those links. And it's straight up going to go into the main base rather than the natural. So an alternative path to where it usually would go, almost as if he knows what this is. Scouts, well, what does he scout? Instantly scouts the roach warren here, which is kind of big. It's going to keep this second Reaper at home. CC is going down. This hatchery is now under some heavy fire. I actually wonder what the plan is going to be here. You're just going to get 1 bunker. I know Beyond often gets 2 bunkers out as well. You don't want to send all Reapers across the map because you probably need something to deal with these links as well, right? Yeah, there we go. It's going to need to micro this Marine quite well. It's doing an okay job so far. Forgot to kite here for a little bit. It's going to end up losing 1 Marine for, well, not for free because, well, 2 links do end up falling. This bunker is now getting closer and closer to being done. 8 more links are on the way behind this. We have speed as well starting, so I thought this was just going to be maybe some minor roach pressure, but because there was no speed that started early on, I didn't think there was going to be links with this as well. Dark, however, has different plans. He's going to go for that 5 roach start. This bunker is not in the correct location to hold everything here. Probably should have been further in the middle in a way. Might have been much better. I think lifting this barracks might be the, might be the move here. Might be the movement. As these Reapers now moving in, not being controlled. 1 Reaper does go down. Didn't quite get the dive in. Didn't quite get the information as to what is actually kicking off. This bunker in the back is going to help produce a little bit more, as this is going to bring this barracks to safety. This barracks over here is not quite brilliant either. Probably will need to move back too at some point, as it's just going to take a lot of damage here without anything really helping out. There is a factory, there's a starport on the way. Now, I don't think Gumiho is aware of how many links are actually moving across the map at this moment, but we have 22 out with 12 more in production. Speed isn't quite done yet, but it's getting closer and closer to finishing up. And this is the first time that these links are going to be revealed here. That means that this bunker is going to be complete toast instantly. First tank almost halfway done at this point. 30 workers to 18. 1 more bunker behind this would not be a luxury. It's probably a necessity. Double SCVs go down. I think Gumiho's just gonna end up dying here to this quick roach rush. Of course it is Dark who goes in with this rush and just straight up kills Gumiho. Takes game number 1. I feel like this is pretty much Dark in a nutshell as well, as there are everyone's struggling versus a build and looking for like these theoretical solutions. Dark just kind of looks at it and is like, what if I should build 5 roaches and then 24 slow links? Would that perhaps do the trick? And then it does the trick. It obviously does, because it's Dark we're looking at, I wonder if you could actually just go completely without the speed. I was just wondering. So you get like an extra Ravager. You know, you get 1.5 Ravager basically. One and 1/3 Ravager. It's 100 gas for that metabolic boost. I'm not sure if it's good, but it sounds cool. Like just a 5 roach into like 24 slow links. I guess the problem would be if, you know, the Reapers do go around the roaches and just start killing the links as they march across the map. That would be a pretty sad sight to behold. In general, like these 5 roach builds are all in good fun until the Reapers really start going ham. I think that was probably the main issue that Gumiho had here, is that he lost a Reaper on the other side. He didn't really use the Reapers defensively either. You can probably continuously throw grenades onto the Reapers and be somewhat okay. Sorry, throw grenades at the roaches, not at the Reapers. If you throw grenades at your own Reapers, that probably ends up not going so well, because you can actually damage your own Reapers with those grenades as well. Third hatch already, well, not quite on the way, but we see a drone moving over, as Dark seems to be playing the Clash opener, if I'm not mistaken. He's gonna build one more set of links and then an Overlord here. Yep, and then at 28 supply, you go for the hatchery. So usually this extra set of links should actually be a drone. This is a build order that was made by the Clash boys, I think specifically by Lambo. And it's cool to see it catching on in Korea. I thought this wasn't necessarily a very good build against 2-Rex Reaper though. I thought that was one of its weaknesses, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case or not. I know that against 3-Rex Reaper, it's really difficult because you get such a fast third base. It's really hard to hold, but Dark feels comfortable apparently with it. I mean, he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. So we'll see how it's going to follow us up. 3rd Rex in the main base right now for Gumiho. Wants to kind of keep that hidden as well. It's somewhat important. So we now have these queens just fighting off this Reaper force. Reapers are going to move around. This hatchery is too far done already. I don't think you can actually clear this, can you? It's trying. I mean, it's definitely losing some HP. It lost about 50 HP in what? Right now it's 315. That's 320. Okay, so 50 HP per 5 seconds. Speed is done right now though, so... Hello? Gumiho fell asleep there for a second. A little bit unfortunate for the Gumi God, as he's going to lose all of his Reapers right away there. Very solid defense out of Dark. Can we just say that? Yes, we can just say that. Very solid defense indeed. Nice. Triple Overlords on the way. That is not quite part of the build order, but it is happening. So we're gonna keep that in mind as well. He starts mining away these gold mineral patches. Dark is looking. He just wants to check. Like, hey, can I do something here? Can I bait something out? Can I do something to you without losing anything? And the answer there is no. So it's just going to piss off for now. Stim is about to finish up. I wonder if Gumiho is going to make like a minor move out with just Stim. Do note that this was a reactor. So it's double reactor plus Stim. It is not... Usually you see reactor, tech lab. So they can make like a combat shield plus Stim move out. That's not what's happening here. Gumiho is focusing on a higher marine count and thus will have less money for a fast 3rd CC. This almost feels like it's going to go into some type of 2-base play. Like some actual 2-base play, like a 2-base tank all-in of some sort. There's going to be a crap ton of Marines out here. And I don't think there's going to be an initial move out. Maybe a bit of a fake move out. I don't think this is going to commit to anything. I'd be very, very surprised. We have a Bailing Nest going down on the side of Dark. There's no lair quite yet here. Don't think he needs it. Because there's no Banshees coming in. He doesn't see any cars either. So I think he's going to be correct with this estimation. We have seen some of the other Terrans, though, just follow this up with Banshees anyway. So always got to be careful against them nasty Terran players. One Bailing is going to get morphed and lair starts now. Double gas is getting added in as well. So 4th base should probably start at some point. I wonder what Dark is going to follow this up with. It does feel like he probably wants to stick with that Ling Bane setup, right? Don't think we're going to see a Roach Warren and 2 more Evo Chambers going for like some 1-1 type of 1-1 Roach play. That would actually kind of surprise me. Worker count already real solid. 4th gas now coming down. We have the double Evos. But yeah, with the Bailing Nest there, this is just going to be standard Ling Bane playstyle. We see that 4th base as well. Creep spread is actually going real quick over here. 5th base gets thrown down instantly as well. So we have that double expand coming out of Dark. It's going to allow him to spend his resources quite easily. One thing that Dark loves to do is, yeah, here we go. We see it here. He pulls all of his queens forward and then defends with mainly queens. And this often allows him to set up larger run-bys than other Zergs could. Because most Zergs, what they do is all the queens that aren't busy injecting move to the front. But look, Dark says, okay, I'm going to queue up 1 or 2 injects and then I run away. And then maybe at some point I'll need to go back. But he basically has a very strong initial defense. And that's what he's going for here. He's going to try and run back into the main as well right now. It's like, oh, I really need those larvae. That's why he also is a player that tends to build slightly more hatcheries than most other Zerg players. You know, everything has a reason in this game, and that is Dark's reason. He's going to try to take out these rocks, which is interesting. I guess he's afraid of a future push coming through that area. Gumiho now moving out towards this 5th base location. This is not so interesting for Dark, though, to hold. I think Dark looks at this and should say to himself, hey, who cares, right? Get a hatchery extra in my main base, or get a hatchery down here, yeah. He really shouldn't care about that. Now, this location, though, is a little bit trickier, because this is a sick tank spot. Look at this, just shooting on that mineral line. Crazy defense. It's just a single tank, though, which might still be an issue. This is 3 racks, but there's no 3rd CC on the way. So despite this feeling perhaps not quite as all-in, trust me, it is relatively all-in over here. This base is going to get taken out. These Evo chambers are an unfortunate location as well. Hello? Can we move this medevac back? No, we can't. Medevac is going to end up dying here. As more units are moving forward. Tank is just focusing almost solely on that. Oh, all that thought. As we do have a run by coming in right now. Where's the Marines? Where are the other units? Marines were in the medevac. Tank sieges up in the main base here as well. As I think Gumiho eventually is going to hold here, but he's going to lose 2 tanks, going to lose a lot of workers as well. Needs to target down those banes. Doesn't quite get that done. He's going to get the hatchery, but at what cost? If these Evo chambers go down before the upgrades finish up, that would be kind of a big deal. That would be a very big deal even. We have a big scan forward coming in. Target fire on those banelings was good. 3 of them get taken out before they get to connect with any of these units. Ground carapace level 1, close to being finished. Yep, there we go. It's going to finish it well. Big moves there coming out of Dark. Probably wants to rebuild these Evo chambers in a safer place. And perhaps shouldn't have built them here in the first place. Getting 1-1 there on Ling Bane was very important for this game. Because it's just going to be a continued all-in here. And being down in upgrades just means that, well, you're going to have a hard time against Marines usually. That's really all it means. Now we have another Evo coming up, so he can even continue upgrading. And the moment +2 carapace finishes up, all of these traits will go heavily in favor of Dark. Dark is very confident though, he's adding in an infestation pit. He's saying, hey, I want to go into Hive and get adrenal glands. He's getting borrowed. 2 upgrades. Gumiho is real keen here on his all-in. He's like, man, this is real power. In reality, Dark isn't afraid at all. This guy doesn't give a crap. It's like he has the middle base, he has a 5th on the right side, he's getting upgrades. Like, Hive. This is just Hive. Hive. That's what he wants, right? As a Hive. He wants a Hive upgrade. He's looking forward to it. Let me see if he can get it. We'll see if he can get it. 2 more tanks moving towards the right side. It's a nice position for sure. As the Liberators are gonna be sent across as well. But there's so many Banes already. 28 out, 11 more on the way. Gonna bring the total up to 39. Marines need to kind of kite back. These tanks are just... yeah. No, this is not it. I actually think this is just game over, no? I don't think there's anything Gumiho can do anymore. Gets completely cleaned up. GG gets called. Dark wins game number 2 as well. Puts himself on match point. It's going to be the first time in this best of 5 that Gumiho decides to go for a high ground barracks, and thus most likely a single Rex opener as well. Dark, the same time just opening up with a hatch first. After the first game it was a pool first, second game a hatch first, and now back to that hatch first. Ancient Sister, not the greatest map to do a very early all-in on, just due to its sheer size. Like, it's a relatively long rush distance, obviously. Once you get a lot of speedlings out, it might actually, it might not be that bad, but I feel like often like early roach pushes, with like the first 3 roaches or so, are not necessarily super worth it. Pull into gas here. We haven't seen a single proxy coming out of Gumiho, which honestly is quite rare. If you've probably seen Gumiho play in the past, most of the time in best of 3s, he'll proxy at least once. In best of 5s, well, most of the time, yeah, once again, at least one, but majority of the time, I think I see two proxy games, sometimes even 3 proxy games out of Gumiho. Like, he loves that stuff. Not going to happen this time around. He opts for a no scout, Reaper into command center. So a little bit risky, a little bit greedy here. If it were a pool first opener, this could prove to be kind of bad, but it's not a pool first opener, so it's going to be just fine. Opener wise, I think Gumiho getting the better end of this trade. We're gonna have to wait and see what Dark's plans are going to be, and of course what Gumiho's plans are going to be. Both players known to be quite aggressive in the first 5 to 6 minutes, so I'm expecting some real fireworks here. But sometimes when I'm expecting fireworks, all I get is crap, so we'll have to wait and see. If we're gonna see a second gas now, that would be a big indicator as to, you know, what the plans of Gumiho are going to be. If he skips that, it might just be a triple CC opener, which, once again, is not rare in this matchup, but it's kind of rare to see out of Gumiho. Reaper here having a good time. Still attacking whatever he can, as that drone is gonna get taken out, and that is -1 for Dark, +1 for Gumiho. That's an inject. It's going to be a double inject opener here. This is pretty much Dark standard, I feel like, these days. Whenever he does play this type of build order. Delays his first creep tumor a bit as he starts sending these links across the map. Reaper is busy fighting this hatchery anyway, and he says, hey, what do you have at home right now? The answer is pretty much nothing. There's no speed on those links, but there's also no Hellions yet. Those take 21 seconds to build, as two do get constructed. There's no second gas, so this feels like it's going to be a Viking opener, if anything, or maybe a medevac drop with these cars. Metabolic boost about to finish up. Depot needs to be lifted, does get lifted, but these SCVs in, well, not just a little bit of trouble, they're dead right now. So at least 3 of them will end up falling here, I think. Maybe the fourth one might... yeah, fourth one almost goes down. 1 link splits off, it's gonna go for it. 4 SCVs end up falling in this little exchange, and that is kind of painful, especially because 2 links still managed to sneak out as well. It's a great trade here to start things off with, as Dark immediately throws down a Roach Warren as well. It's like, hey, that went pretty well. Let's see what happens if I go for a follow-up all-in with this. Overlord perhaps in a bit of trouble as a second gas gets thrown down in the main base. There is a Reaper that can potentially scout. I'm not sure if that's in Gumiho's plans right now. I'll have to wait and see. There's 4 links out on the map. There's 8 more on the way. Should be capable of dealing with these cars. It's going to be Viking into medevac. So most likely a Hellion drop, but it's not. This game is not going to be about the Hellion drop. The Roach Warren will be I think the deciding structures. There's a 3rd gas out already as well. This is going to be a very dedicated Roach push. I can only imagine. Gonna need another inject here at some point. Dark not entirely on top of things here. Definitely not on top of things in his natural. This Ling attack is now going in. Sees the lack of a Banshee. Starts the Roaches. I wonder if he was waiting for that confirmation that there was no Banshee on the way before wanting to send the Roaches out on the map. Scouted to see if there's an armory here, which there's not. Because if there's an armory, he could have just used his Roaches defensively, perhaps. It's going to be 10 Roaches across the map. A bunch of links now moving around as well. And here we go. It is 4 gas, by the way, so this is going to follow up into mech. Oh no, it's 3 gas. I still kind of feel like this is going to follow up into mech, though. Good call as 2 barracks get thrown down. God, I'm so good at making predictions. Overlord does get taken out. That's actually pretty painful, because that means that these Roaches can't instantly turn into Ravagers. And as I say that, another Overlord finishes up and 3 Ravagers start. This has not been a great day for me as it comes to the predictions and the callouts. First Banshee on the way, and with a Banshee and this many Hellions, I'm kind of feeling the defense here, no? It's 11 Roaches, or well, 8 Roaches and 3 Ravagers. Actually, 2 more Ravagers are morphing right now. Link's trying to go for a surround. That shouldn't really work. Hellions stay alive. Banshee now attacking is going to get hit perhaps by the... yeah, the bile definitely does hit it. It's kind of painful. I think that Gumiho needs to move to the high ground. Banshee needs to move out of that bile. Uh-oh, here come a bunch of biles on top of those SCVs. Not the greatest control out of Gumigod. Needs to lift the depot. Doesn't get the lift on the depot as the Banshee continues dealing damage. But honestly, this has been a really poor defense. That depot could have provided a bit of extra safety here before the second Banshee actually ends up popping out. I love the eBay positioning. Kind of giving a spot here for these Hellions to hide behind. As this is going to be 24 workers to 48 right now. The second Banshee is out, but I think Dark might have actually done it. CC on the low ground in trouble as well. It's not going to die, or at least I hope it's not going to die. If it burns down, that would be a very sad way to go. But I mean, there's so many units still on the map here for Dark, while he also has a massive lead in the worker count. Is throwing down the spores, getting a lair. Should probably consider getting a couple of Evo chambers as well. Most likely he's going to follow this up with a Roach Blade, because the only way he's really losing here is versus a counter attack. These two Banshees now moving in. I don't even think there's Cloak yet. No, there's no Cloak, and there's not going to be Cloak. GG gets called. Gumiho moved out, and the Ling run by came in. That means that Dark gets a 3-0 victory here in his round of 8, and also advances on to the round of 4 of the KSL Summer Slam. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. We're continuing with the quarterfinals tomorrow here on this channel. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and bye-bye.